Welcome to day 57 of the Sacred Pause. Thank you to our dear sister Pearl for her meditation last night, for taking us on that beautiful journey yesterday. Pearl, your contributions to the Sacred Pause are mesmerizing, and we're all so honoured to have you on board. Thank you, dear sister. Thank you. Today I wanted to start with a poem, as has become the daily routine. It's a short poem called The Power of Prayer. And there was only one thing left to do. So they prayed for a miracle, and they prayed from a sacred space, a timeless place. And when they aligned their hearts, the whole world shook, and they felt their healing prayers shudder deep in their souls. And in their mind's eye they saw the healing, for they believed their prayers as if they had already happened. And as they focused, their prayers joined hearts, and a great life force rose from deep within them, and a light shone upon all those they prayed, and their prayers were answered. Thank you. Today I wanted to talk, surprisingly, about the power of prayer. A few weeks ago we did a group prayer to help those of us on this planet who really needed healing, and to all the souls in transition. And I was astonished at the power which went behind it. For me, it was arguably the most powerful spiritual experience of my life. We seemed to harness a great energy and be united with Spirit as we held their hands and held space for those in need of our love and our prayers. It was the perfect reminder that prayer is such a beautiful offering of love. They say Jesus prayed with the kind of authority and power that people had never seen before. It was as though God was listening. And when people came to Jesus, they didn't say, "Teach us another prayer." They always said, "Teach us to pray." Now, it wasn't until I went to Jerusalem that I saw with the eyes of my very own heart, at the famous Wailing Wall, what it truly means to pray with authority and power. My own experiences of prayer, well, they're very dear to me, and yet somewhere between childhood and adulthood I lost my navigation for prayer amid the chaos of trying to find myself and in the great mist and busyness of life. But I do remember very vividly praying to God as a child, and even at 11 years old, I'd noticed that when I was really focused during prayer time, it always felt like the prayers of everyone in that school hall were coming through me. Now, that wasn't because I was anything special, or that I was an instrument for prayer. It was purely because I was so focused in that one single moment in that prayer. Now, I didn't have the spiritual intelligence nor the capacity to understand or to read what was going on, but when we prayed as 300 people at school, I used to see all the children were surrounded by light, as if in one magical embrace. it always felt like I'd come home. And afterwards I'd go into the playground and stare at the trees and the flowers in awe of their beauty, and feel the wind upon my face as if it was allowing an invisible majesty to cloak itself around me. Perhaps the major difference between praying and meditating, for those of you who are asking in your head that question, is usually that prayer is done with a purpose, to help heal someone or to send a message to Spirit or God or the Divine Mother. Whereas meditation is, well, just an opportunity to be. Like meditation, one of the key aspects to praying is to maintain your focus and your concentration, as I found at school. But for a prayer to be really powerful, there are 4 key steps. Firstly, it should be done in sacred space. So when you pray, open that sacred space, or do your ritual which opens that sacred bubble around you and around whoever you're praying for. Secondly, it needs to speak the sacred language. But don't panic, that's not too difficult. That essentially means you have to pray beyond judgment and beyond ego, and always with a sacred intention. Thirdly, say the prayer as if it has already happened. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God, for the healing of Suzanne. She is now of perfect health. Finally, remember, it's not just about the words. As we discussed yesterday, words are incredibly powerful. In fact, every word has its own galaxy of pathways, its own universe. But the key element with a prayer is that you feel it. That's not how loud you shout it out. Maybe that helps as well. That's connecting with the heart space and the depths of your compassion, so you can create the feeling of what you're requesting and even see it in your mind's eye. Now there's a Tibetan word called Shanti Ishtu, which means the single eye of the heart. That is essentially when your words, your thoughts and feelings align to become one force. It's the direct path to the heart brain. This is your deeper heart, your intuitive heart. In the East, there's so many words for this, and yet in the West, we just say heart, which can get confusing. But this is the place where the higher mind, the pure awareness, and the subtler emotions, and your soul identity all come together and connect you to the universe, where presence and love are one. So this is how the Tibetan monks literally move mountains. This is the timeless space you need to access to heal people with your prayers. So feel it as if it's already happened. Marry the words, the thought, and the feeling, and a force beyond all forces will be unleashed into the divine matrix. And that way, all the weight and heaviness of the mountains just dissolves. And moving mountain ranges becomes like picking up a cup of tea, because you're doing it from a timeless and sacred space. My brothers and sisters, the power of our prayers lie in the gap between the words, deep in the heart-mind, beyond time. Because, as Greg Braden explains so eloquently in the Isaiah effect, basically time is not just linear, but it also has depth. And the depth of time consists of all the possible prayers and timelines that could ever be prayed for, or could ever exist. So in that context, if we see and feel the healed state, our prayers have already been answered, and the person we prayed for has already been healed. Isn't that beautiful? As ever, there'll be a meditation tonight. Our beautiful, handsome brother from Costa Rica, Ian Gray, will be delivering his finest magic this evening with a beautiful sound meditation on the power of prayer. Synchronicity at its absolute finest. So before you begin, please open sacred space and send great healing to the people of Africa who need our love right now. Please also send healing to the firefighters, to the health workers, to the carers, and all those who continue their incredible work right now across our beautiful planet. Please also send healing to our dear sister Suzanne, who needs our prayers right now, and lots of love. And to Hugo, a dear soul who needs all our healing right now, on behalf of our brother Jeffrey. We love you, Hugo. Please also send healing to Jill on behalf of Katie, as she enters the final days of her beautiful life on this planet. My beautiful people, the revolution has begun. Let's evolve with honor and grace. Yours in peace and love, Peter. Namaste.